Welcome back, everyone. This is Miriam, and we're back in the Tnooz broadcast here at BCD Travel's booth at GBTA 2018, and it is the end of the expo. So we are here with a couple of special guests to wrap it up, have a little chat. We are a little punchy, we've been giggling, so let's excuse us if we have a good time up here. But I wanted to bring you guys here today to give us a little bit of your thoughts on how your day has been. What have you been talking about with clients today?
Mike, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, it was a great day up until I spilt a glass of water over 3 clients, right? Cleanup on aisle 9 happened out there. It was a little embarrassing, but other than that, it's been great. I think clients are energized. I think they're really looking for what are the solutions around NDC, what is going on with hotels, with all the technology in our industry, how do we start to really manage that integrated? But there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of energy around all the conversations. I don't feel like in past years, sometimes they, people going through the motions a little bit. Yeah. I think they're looking for us to provide those real answers to how we implement into their programs. So I like that. I like the interest. I think it's good.
I would absolutely agree. I think when we looked around today, the level of energy and the level of engagement, I think to me was better than in certainly years past. When you're sitting there having some relevant, meaningful conversations about solution source reporting, as Mike mentioned, NDC, GDPR, all of these components have been really prevalent today. But again, I think the energy level, and maybe they're getting some of that energy level from our team that's in the booth, right? But I think we're really engaging at a really high level with some of the prospects and some of our clients as well.
Well, I think, and for no small feat of your own, Miriam, I think people look at BCD Travel as one that can help them understand the technologies and the startup companies, and you look at this industry, I think what drives it look at some of the booths around here that we've never seen before. Whether it's Trip Action's booth or a lot of these new entrants into the space, and they're hearing things from them and they're thinking, well, is that real? Is that going to be doable? I think what's nice about it, we've got the reputation that they come to us and say, all right, tell me, can you really integrate this into our program?
Right.
Is this going to be real? Is this going? So I think some of the new entrants into the industry have started to drive some benefits, some halo effect for us, for all the work we've had.
I think you're absolutely right. I think when we were looking at the solution source, and they were looking at the long list of companies that were on there, a lot of conversations around, hey, tell me about there. Is that really a good product? Is that really a good organization? Tell me what you believe to be, their value in terms of integrating. So to your point, I think that trusted advisor status, specifically on some of these solution source items, I think is pretty prevalent today.
So one of the things I notice a lot in the field is that lately with our customers and prospects, they're bringing new stakeholders to the table. It used to be, right, that it was just a travel manager on their own, maybe somebody from procurement kind of making travel decisions. And now I think we're seeing an evolution, this is my personal opinion, I'd love to hear your opinion on this, that we are seeing HR leadership start to show up at the table to make business travel decisions. We're seeing stakeholders beyond the buyers that we're typically used to seeing coming to the table wanting to know about managed travel, the value that somebody like us can drive in their business. Are you seeing that, and do you think that it changes the conversation you're having in the booth? You're smiling.
I think it's a fantastic change that's happening with us right now, because one of the worries we always had is being commoditized as an industry, as a segment of an industry, which isn't a position any company wants to be in. And procurement has a very important role to play in every organization, but sometimes what they're driving isn't necessarily in the best interest of customer service. They're trying to balance that cost to their company with the service to the traveler. Had a meeting just earlier today, one of our largest prospects, who was just saying about how we've just done a change, I'm now reporting into HR.
Wow.
I want to talk to you, and it said, I want to talk to you all about how do we know me, my traveler, know my travelers, give that traveler experience. And we had a conversation that was all about being effective and experience, still with efficiency. How does it also drive efficiency? Because that's always going to be, but it was nice for that to be the lead in, as opposed to some of the other conversations we have in there. So I like the balance. I think it's really important. I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to move away from the fact that you always have to be price conscious, you always have to be competitive. Again, so many good things have come out of procurement-based organizations and what's happened there. But again, I want to be judged on the overall structure of what we can bring to our clients, right? Not just trying to be the low-cost provider.
Yeah, I would agree. The thoughts that come to mind, I think in some ways we've come full circle, right? So we in the past, HR administration was managing the programs, and we saw the evolution of procurement individuals coming into the playing field and the commoditizing, you know, the travel agency space. And now we're seeing that balance coming back. So to me, I feel like we're almost coming back a little bit full circle and bringing some of those stakeholders back that are really balancing costs with traveler experience, traveler satisfaction, which is quite frankly nice to see.
Right, and I think that it's also, it shows in the agenda that I've been looking at for this conference. There are a lot more sessions this year that are around the human aspect of business travel, right? So whether it's health and wellness or safety or women traveling or minorities traveling, LGBTQ community, there are so many new aspects looking at the actual human being that we're taking care of that I feel like is a huge part of a lot of the breakout sessions we have this year. I've never noticed it to that level before, which is really exciting to focus on the actual traveler, which we've been talking about for a long time.
Well, and you're right, and we've always been a great partner of Win It, and for all that focus around women in travel and stuff, it's great, and it's nice to see that. It's important, so it's good stuff.
Agreed.
So how would you describe the state of corporate travel today?
I think it's an evolution, right? It's digitalization. It's actually migrating to a different space and time. I think we're right on track with our different platforms from a technology perspective, from a mobility perspective, but we really see the digitalization really transpiring and really moving forward for us.
Yeah, and I'll go back to something I said earlier. You look at any industry to determine, is it a growing industry, is it a healthy industry? Look at how many companies are starting up and coming into that space.
That's right.
So again, you have so many new companies in the travel space, seeing opportunities to really push different attributes of this industry. That's healthy. You look at the profits of the airlines, the hoteliers, people, it's healthier than it's ever been financially. It's more interesting than it's ever been because of all these startup companies coming into it. And as Jorge, as you said, the fun of saying, how do we use all these tools to empower travelers, to give them the right experience? You know, I don't even wish to say how many years I've been in this industry. So I'm going to hold back on that one. And I will tell you that I'm having more fun than I ever have. And I can't say I've ever not had fun in it. So I'm having more fun than I ever have. And I think it's just excellent as far as health of the industry. So really good.
That's right. And I actually see it quite a bit, as you mentioned, in the startup industry. You know, it used to be that, you know, several years ago, we used to see a lot of startups in the consumer space, and they very quickly discovered that it's really hard to acquire customers in the consumer space. And so many of them have started to pivot directly into business travel, which is like music to our ears, right? I mean, we are waiting for these innovators to come in and solve problems we might not even know we have just yet. So it's really exciting to see that whole startup space really start to nurture business travel in the B2B space for us, because we're reaping the benefits.
Yeah, I think well said. I mean, you know this better than anyone, right? The innovation and the things that you're looking at and what's coming down the line are super exciting. So,
Well, and you got to look at the fact that, again, we're fortunate as an organization to be so financially sound that we can take advantage of these partnerships. We're able to invest in those partnerships and see how, on behalf of our clients, we can make them work. So, you know, it's all kind of coming together nicely.
So in terms of the rest of the conference, we've got a couple keynotes coming up. Tomorrow we've got Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, from Shark Tank. He'll be doing the keynote. And then we've got John Walsh that's going to be speaking on Wednesday. But what are you guys looking forward to for the next several days?
I'm looking forward to him saying, I'm going to crush you like a cockroach. Actually, that's one of his famous lines on Shark Tank.
Of course.
I think it's just some more meaningful conversations. Like I said, the energy, the relevancy of the topics, you know, the conversations that we're having, you know, to this point have been great, and I really anticipate that that'll continue. I take a look at the educational sessions as well, not just the general sessions, but the educational sessions really have some really robust, really substantial programs as well that I think people are going to continue to educate themselves, learn, and that's really what GBTA is about: networking, learning, having some serious conversations, and building relationships.
Yep. So. And I've been to 18 of these now. How many have you been?
21.
21 GBTAs. 21. And how about you?
I don't know. I'm not telling you.
Can't count that high. What are you looking forward to, Mike?
Well, wow, after Jorge's little, I'm going to seem shallow to say the BCD party, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
no,
Okay,
yeah,
yep.
always that. But no, honestly, I think along the lines of what Jorge was saying, to me, I just enjoy every single time that I get to interact with a customer, supplier, a partner, anybody, and get pushed a little bit. Pushed and challenged to say, how are you going to do it better? How are you going to do something more? So, yeah, this is the time of year that we really get that feedback and that interaction on such a magnitude that you can't get this kind of knowledge in this kind of time frame any other time of the year in our industry.
And that condensed format.
So I look forward to that. I look forward to the interactions that are coming and the challenges I'm going to be asked to say how you're going to make it better.
Agreed.
So you've been to enough of these where you don't need to go to every airline booth and lay in their first class seats and test out the seats
Correct.
and everything, right? You've been through all of that. You don't need to
Correct.
test anything out. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, that's the end of our session for today. We will be back tomorrow, starting roughly at about 2:40 Pacific time. It's going to be day 2 of GBTA 2018 here in San Diego. So please join us tomorrow and watch us live again. And for now, we are signing off. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.